Here with reaction, author. This is the book right here. I have it in my hands of the brand new book. It's on Amazon.com, Hannity.com, bookstores everywhere. It's called Resurrected Jesus, the Church of the New Testament. It was written by David Limbaugh, who, by the way, has been my lawyer for all my years in media, and also his daughter, who is my personal assistant, who works right here on Hannity and Fox News. They wrote it together. David, the book is awesome. I'm proud of you. I hope everyone gets a copy. It is a great book, and you have helped me with my faith, and I can't thank you enough for that. Also with us is Trump attorney Alina Habba and Fox News legal analyst Jarrett. Gregg. Alina, let me start with you. Let's start with this judge's decision and what it means. They got his tax records, attorney-client privileged information. They got his passports. Well, what didn't they get?
They took everything they wanted to take. That's obviously evident. The injunction, which means that they've stopped all criminal investigations, was granted, which is a great win for the Trump team that is handling this matter. Additionally, we received an approval to get a special master, which was exactly what I had hoped would happen. The DOJ, as you may recall, was opposing this. They didn't want it. And what the public had assumed was a delay was, in fact, the fact that, and the judge mentioned this, the fact that the DOJ wasn't willing to grant a special master when we requested it prior. So then we had to file a motion. The judge made the right decision, in my opinion. We'll have a special master who will take a look at everything that they took, give back the privileged information, the things that they shouldn't have, and stop any criminal investigation that might be happening, or any investigation at all, from proceeding dead in its tracks until that special master gets into play.
Gregg, I said from day one that this was a fishing expedition, taking the former president's tax information, taking his attorney-client privilege information, over 500 pages at least we're reading now, taking his medical records, taking his passports. This is why that broad warrant, and we should see, by the way, the affidavit in full, not redacted. This is why it was always a fishing expedition, because of certain sections that they used in the Espionage Act.
I agree. It was pretextual. And by the way, I look forward to reading David and Kristen's book. They're both gifted writers, and good luck to you. Look, the judge seemed to be saying here that Merrick Garland went too far. He grabbed too much, and he gabbed too much, whispering into the ears of the media that hate Donald Trump derogatory negative information about the contents of the very documents that Garland seeks to conceal. And the judge talked about the irreparable injury, the potential harm, the indelible stain that the president suffers as a consequence, an effort to convict him in the court of public opinion. But the judge also seemed very skeptical about the volume, the sheer expanse of what the FBI went in and did at Mar-a-Lago. They vacuumed up everything except the carpets and the chandelier. 11,000 documents, 1,800 more other items described by the judge, not to mention 520 documents that are confidential and covered by the attorney-client privilege. And that doesn't even include executive privilege. And this was the big blow to Merrick Garland. The judge deflated his argument that Joe Biden has the authority to nullify a former president's executive privilege by simply waiving it. And the judge pointed out there's a case before the Supreme Court just this year in which the high court suggested that you can't do that. That would render meaningless any president's executive privilege. So, this is a big blow to Merrick Garland, but he's not the kind of guy who takes it sitting down. I suspect he is seriously considering an appeal.
David, let's get your take on this from a legal perspective.
Well, I find it amazing that people aren't up in arms about what's going on, especially in context of the 2016 refusal by the Democrats to accept the election results. And they, by the way, are the threat to democracy, not Donald Trump. And they fabricated that hoax, and there still hasn't been justice for that. And now we learn that they've suppressed Bob Alinsky's evidence and his testimony, his whistleblowing, that ought to scare the heck out of people. Why is the FBI doing this? Why is Peter Strzok? And why are they so weaponized and politicized? And now we see this continuing pattern. And now we view that in the context of what's going on today, which is that former President Trump just wants a special master, an objective reviewer of these documents to tell us whether they are legitimately seized and whether some of them are covered by executive privilege or attorney-client privilege, as Gregg said. So what do they have to fear? And yet they do. And you get liberals like Dan Rather, who pretended to be an objective journalist for 100 years, saying that it's some kind of conspiracy and that Trump has manipulated this, and the judge behind this, Judge Cannon, was in his back pocket, and she issued this order. But why? What are they afraid of? I ask, what are they afraid of? We want transparency. They want to keep it secret. They're the ones who are blacking out everything. We are the ones who want transparency. I submit to you that the side that wants transparency is the side less to be suspicious of.
I'll tell you, this is going to get very interesting now, and we'll see where the judge goes with this next. By the way, what a great thing. And you dedicated this book that you and Kristen wrote, The Resurrected Jesus, to your brother, Rush, who we all miss dearly. And I hope people get a copy of it. David Limbaugh, thank you. Alina, good to see you as well. And, of course, Gregg, always great to have you.
You too.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.